Hello fellow Magic players, I'm back in Aalborg, and Henrik and Jens Ole wanted to have a rematch, so I had the pleasure to spectate on this one. So Jens Ole is on Naya Zoo on the right, and Henrik is on a red-white sort of control-ish setup on the left. Jens Ole starts out with an elf and Henrik with a Sol Ring. These guys haven't played that many games before because, we are a bunch of players who all play, and also because Henrik has recently started and has settled on his deck now. The last fight, I think the Naya Zoo won 2-1. So this is a best of 3. This could turn into a grudge match, but all in good sport, of course. So Henrik starts off with a bunch of mana acceleration into a lion, and Jens Ole is already ramping out an engine, which Henrik decides to remove. I don't know if for those who watched the previous game between these two, it was an absolute nuke fest with Armageddons and balances and red-white removal, where everything just died within, almost before they hit the table. And until someone got through with something, and then the game ended. So I imagine we will meet something similar here. It's two very aggressive deck, with Jens Ole as probably the aggressor here, as he has less card draw engines as Henrik does, and Henrik has a bit more control with main deck Blood Moons and books. So he usually tries to stall for game one. So there's a Blood Moon. That's pretty nasty. But also, as it opens up for the lion to attack, because the factory is now a mountain, but it totally still have some green mana. So he removes the Sol Ring in order to further gimp the mana situation for Jens Ole. Could be debatable, I'm not sure, as Jens Ole here, he already has enough mana to put down an engine. Perhaps it's to stop fireballs, but I don't know. But Henrik is very much has the upper hand here. It's only likely bolts the lion at least, and here comes an ape, and it's actually a 2/3 ape in spite of the Blood Moon, because there's a basic forest down there. And another angel attack. The Sedge Troll is a new addition to Henrik's deck. He's trying out, and I think he's a bit infatuated with going more the disc control route, but so with a red-white setup and the black splash. But so now he's testing trolls. It's all got out a bird, and that will probably help his mana situation a lot, as he now has access to white mana next turn. And yeah, that's Henrik immediately removes it, and that's probably very wise of him, I think. So Jens Ole is still without any white mana producing sources, and that angel is looking increasingly dangerous. Here it comes again. And Jens Ole concedes there. So that is 1-0 for the red-white this turn, which take the lead, ramping out to some big beaters covered by a Blood Moon. So that seems to work against Jens Ole, as he can't use Swords to Plowshares in that situation. And we saw from the final hand from Jens Ole was all white cards, Swords to Plowshares, Balance, and I believe a Disenchant. So that is always pretty frustrating. So Jens Ole starts out like before with an elf, and we see an almost copy of the last game with a Soldering, but okay, this time Jens Ole decides to draw an early Library of Alexandria. I was wondering when that would show up. So good for him. Henrik has the Yalom tome out, so they both have card draw engines, but Jens Ole's at the moment is far the superior one. He just needs to get enough cards to make it work, get enough cards in hand. There's a couple of factories there, so Henrik can actually put the fight to Jens Ole already, but I suppose he's probably a bit mana screwed, has some mana trouble because he's not doing it. So he probably fears Disenchants. So yeah, I'm not sure what the correct play is here. It depends on what Jens Ole has in hand, if he should strip mine or factory. Otherwise he should just try to disenchant them when they come, and then use the strip mine whenever a colored land drops down. Also, he should be mindful of a white mana into a land tax if he strip mines now, and such a play would immediately secure Henrik's position. So I think it's wise that he waits with using that strip mine, even though Henrik is in mana trouble. Jens Ole has a bird out, and Henrik has the plateau. Jens Ole is within lower ranges and is starting to get a bigger and bigger card advantage now. The snowball starts, and there's the Sylvan Library, so that's nice. It's a good combination because you'll dig faster through the cards, and the Sylvan Library will make sure that you always get the top two of the top 3 cards that's the best for this situation. Henrik bolts the birds. That's a very valid target at the moment. But I'm surprised that Library has survived for so long. Henrik usually packs a lot of Blood Moons and Stone Rains so that he can stop plays like this, but he hasn't had the luck to draw into any of them, I presume. Still a bit of a storm, but here comes the City of Brass. Now he has all the mana he needs. He can put down angels. He can do anything he wants with double red, double white, and enough colorless mana to do anything he wants, really. So he, after much deliberation, puts out a Savannah Lion. I had to cut a bit in the video there. So this was presumably a difficult decision for Henrik. So Jens Ole has got the factory for defense. If I was Jens Ole, I'd just sit back and keep chewing on the lower, and then yeah. So he doesn't overextend himself. He just puts out a single creature, and knowing that it will probably die in the meat grinder that is Henrik's deck, but that the card advantage will eventually win out until Henrik can get an answer for that Library of Alexandria. But at the moment, Jens Ole is tapped out, and Henrik should probably attack with a factory and a lion, unless he has something important to drop. Okay, so he activates the City of Brass to activate. Okay, he activates the factory, and then he stone rains the Library of Alexandria. And the lion and the factory swings for 5 damage, as the other factory boosts the attacking factory. So it's Jens-Ole's turn, and he's using the Sylvan Library to get the best pick for the turn. And that was a bit of a punch he got there, but he tries out with an engine now and keeps the strip mine untapped in case he needs to remove one of the factories, which would probably be necessary if Henrik has an ability to remove the engine. So there comes a land tax and an attack from the lion. That's a big indicator that could be a bluff, but it's a big indicator that there's either a lightning bolt or he wants the lion to die because there's a balance coming up. Yep, until he needs to draw it out, so he blocks with the engine and gets bolted. So now they're staring at each other again. The only creatures on board are mana-producing elves and the factories. And the only reason the factories are alive is because if they haven't attacked that much. So Jens-Ole tries again with the sushi. And we saw Jens-Ole play an extra factory this turn, just to try and get parity with the factories of Henrik. But this makes it possible for Henrik to activate his land tax. This is pretty huge, because now Henrik has a draw engine going with his Jarlam Tome, as he can discard those basic lands for extra cards via the Jarlam Tome. And with Jens-Ole without a Library of Alexandria, that actually gives the advantage to Henrik now. So he plays a Sedge Troll and follows up with a basic mountain in order to have the mana to block the sushi and regenerate the troll. But this actually negates the effect of the land tax, as they have the same number of lands now, as far as I can see. But Jens-Ole drops another factory. That's his third factory now. Yeah, so it's difficult to say if this is a correct play, as it provides even more draw engine power for Henrik. But we see here why he does it. He seems like Jens-Ole is going in for the kill now, putting out a Serra Angel, and now having 3 factories against Henrik's 2 defending factories, so he can now trade 1 factory for 1 factory by pumping the attacking factory. So at the end step, Henrik draws from his Jarlam Tome. He needs something here, and yeah, he can now use the land tax, and he does. So not only does this provide extra cards for the Henrik's draw engine, but it also thins Henrik's deck, so the odds of him drawing something useful here increases every time he uses the land tax. Now he draws for the turn. I need something here. That angel has an open attack. Oh, he plays a Blood Moon. That's a very nice play at this point in time, because Jens-Ole has just tapped out for playing that Serra Angel. I imagine Henrik has just been waiting for such an opportunity, because now Jens-Ole can't tap his Savannah in order to disenchant the Blood Moon as a response to the Blood Moon coming in. Follows up with a Granite Gargoyle, and Jens-Ole is locked out of white again. So Jens-Ole attacks with the Angel. Yeah, that Granite Gargoyle, it can't survive a block, as Henrik now only has the 2 factories untapped, and they are mountains, so the he can pump the gargoyle up to 4 in toughness, and he probably won't block the angel then. He can block the sushi though, so I'm not sure about that attack, because it opens up Jens Ole slightly to a counter attack, but it's probably no matter, as Jens Ole, as Henrik probably will not counter attack here. There's not much to be gained if he does so, unless he can remove the angel, of course. So that angel actually locks a lot of mana down on Henrik's side, because he has to keep at least 3 mountains untapped in order for the gargoyle to survive. And he plays a lion, puts down another plains. I'm not sure about that play. I think Henrik should keep those basic lands in hand and use them for the Jarlam Tome instead, and make sure that he can keep on drawing with the land tax. But he might have a plan here. Anyway, he elects to keep putting down the basic lands. I imagine he has a bunch of basic lands in hand anyway. So he's contemplating an attack now, and the gargoyle can actually block him, but he might have a plan. Henrik is drawing as a response with the Jarlam Tome and discarding one of his many basic lands from the land tax. Proceeds to block the angel with the gargoyle, pumps it to 5 in toughness. Oh, and there's a lightning bolt. So that gargoyle, it can't pump enough now to survive the bolt, as well as he only has 2 mountains left. So this is an advantage for Jens Ole. He has Henrik by the throat here. Now he lightning bolts the Savannah line. That might be a bit aggressive. I think he should have kept. Oh, he wheels. Okay, that's why he bolted the lion. And as a response, Henrik disenchants the Sylvan Library. I think that wheel at this point of time is very dangerous, as we know that Henrik has a lot of answers to that angel in his deck, and Jens Ole is actually ahead. And his opponent has almost no hand, and what he has in that hand are basic lands. But now he has provided Henrik with an out. He fed him an entire hand. This is very dangerous. As far as I remember, we talked about this after the game, and I think Jens Ole had the same impression that this could have been a mistake. But we'll see. Here comes an angel, so that's one sort of answer at least, as they can now trade and Jens Ole can't get in anymore. A rule of thumb, I think, is not to wheel when the opponent has no hand left and you are, and he has no answer for your attacking creature. If you have the upper hand, don't wheel, unless you have Dreams out or something like that and can kill with it. But we'll see. Jens Ole also got an entire new hand, and he has a lot of answers still, even though he's locked out of white. Perhaps he tried to draw into some planes. He used 2 cards, by the way, for those Codex, and they are sadly only 1/1 because there are no basic forests down. So, and then no planes, but a red marks. That's probably the most useless artifact he could have drawn at this point, but at least it doesn't count towards the land tax. So it's an extra mana source. So, okay, Jens Ole goes all in here, trying to do some more damage, attacking with everything but the Llanowelf. And this looks like it's a Swords to Plowshares. This is bad. So it's as one could have feared if one was rooting for Jens Ole, that it goes from bad to worse. Henrik just bolts the Llanowelf, so now Jens Ole has no green mana left, and then proceeds to wipe out the apes and take the sushi on the chin. Probably just to clean the board. And there's a disenchant for the sushi. So that was a disaster for Jens Ole. Here comes the first real attack from Henrik in this game. He now has a complete lockdown, reminiscent of the last game, where there are creatures that can't be bolted. And attacking, Jens Ole has no creatures left, and he's locked out of white, so he can't answer those unboltable creatures. I think that wheel might have been the nail in the coffin. Actually a pretty dramatic upheaval here. But let's see, Jens Ole gets a green Mox. I just showed that he has a balance in hand. That would have been so great for him to play at this point, but I think this is it. What can that green Mox provide? An engine, it won't be enough. Regrowth won't be enough. Here comes the attack. He's at three life now. So yep, that's it. That was that was 2-0 for the red-white deck. So the lesson to take from this is, as said, not to wheel when you're ahead like this. Jens Ole should have just kept on attacking with the Serra Angel and hope that Henrik didn't get an answer in time. But we all make mistakes like this. I know I do, and it's always fun to look them over afterwards and see what can be learned from these games, in order to not to ever play perfectly, but just in order to learn and try not to do the same mistake as often. I guess that's a valid goal by the end of things. So there's the final match coming up between these two hyper-destructive decks. It's a game for mostly pride, I guess, as Henrik has already taken the set. But Jens Ole can maybe scratch back a single victory, so the final score will be 2-1. And then they will be equal all in all, as Jens Ole won the last batch 2-1. Or Henrik can play for getting a 3-0 victory and have the bragging rights until next week. Stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching.